Hello, hello. This is On Imagination, and we are talking about art. So this is this is the Irish series, and I'm delving into culture, I'm delving into art, I'm delving into a lot of different things right now. And it's all getting like compiled into the Irish series. And the reason why it's the Irish series is for many reasons, personal reasons, and many other reasons. So it's just it's a wonderful, let's really dig into this. Every time I get into art, Ireland is right there in my entire life. Like, it's extraordinary. And the reason why is because this is a culture that for over 2,000 years has valued art like no one else. I mean, the epitome of worshiping art. I would say it. The Irish worship art. No other culture does this. No other culture has done this. The Irish worship art. And I was going, they know something that we don't know, which is why I started the Irish series, is to step into the world of the Irish and go, what the fuck do you guys know that we don't know? That you are all over here worshiping art while we're all like starving our artists. And this is really it, is the world starves their artists, but Ireland reveres them. The best example of this is the bard. The bard. I'm a bard. The bard. A lot of people have no idea what a bard is. They think a bard was a dude who walked around on a donkey and sang music, or a minstrel. No. A bard was somebody, first of all, there was levels. There's apprenticeship, master, tradesman, master, and philosopher. And they had rankings. The Fili was the highest ranking. They were a philosopher bard. I am a philosopher bard. They were somebody who were so educated on history that they also knew the value of art, story, theater, stage, performance, to tell story, to use story, to teach, to entertain, and to give and depict history in ethical lessons. I refer to this as an oral historian, which is what I am. A bard was so highly valued in the Irish culture that they were hired by all the petty kings to come and visit kingdom to kingdom. They were very well lavished and very well taken care of. They were, it was like how the rest of the world reveres the Pope. No, the Irish revered the bard. This is one of my favorite things about the Irish, is the monasteries. Yes, 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 they worshiped God, but they were really doing was celebrating and worshiping the art, which is why the Book of Kells was painted in gold. Like, the illuminated manuscripts wasn't for the god, it was for the education in the written word. And there is no culture that has been more dedicated to the glory, celebration, preservation of art. And I was speaking to a wonderful lady yesterday, born and raised Ireland, and I asked her, I said, what's going on with art in Ireland? And she said this, there was apparently there was a great concern about art being declined during COVID. And she said the entire world was concerned about a loss of art and needing to preserve art. She goes, not in Ireland. In Ireland, it flourished. That we all came together, and the art in Ireland was unaffected by this. COVID had no effect on the art in Ireland. And I went, yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. And when you look at this is really extraordinary. I'm going, 2,000, not even 2,000. We're talking 6,000 years of preserving art. St. Patrick decided to go to Ireland to preserve the culture, to protect the culture from the Roman Empire, to preserve the art. So by the 5th century, they were already renowned for their art. And it was a treasure trove of art, music, culture. And St. Patrick knew this. So when they were looking for someone to imperialize and desecrate the land, St. Patrick stepped in to take on the job and then disguised it and hid it. to preserve it, and preserve it he did. It's extraordinary what he did. And as a result, the ethical progression and the culture and the art was able to flourish untouched for another 2,000 years. It was fucking extraordinary. Okay, if I'm getting the years right, it actually flourished until about the 1700s. In the 1700s, that's when all hell broke loose and the culture was then destroyed. But the ethical preservation was untouched. And their value for art is still very much alive today. So when I first started my ethical studies, I was looking at the progression. And according to the 12 ethics, it's art and then communication and then science. But as I've learned with the 12 ethics, there's forwards, there's backwards. There's the first 6, which is forgiveness. The first 6 ethics is reverse engineering pain and trauma. So when you are abused or offended by somebody, you're supposed to take the first 6 ethics and reverse engineer them to restore your mind and then go back forward again. That is a really powerful tool for anyone who has suffered ever. 6 ethics in reverse. Repairs, restores, and then you go forward. And the scientific method is literally the 12 ethical stages in reverse. It's fucking extraordinary. So I'm watching this Irish culture, and I always thought that it was art first because we saw the art cave paintings, we saw the story paintings, and then it's supposed to be communication, and then it's supposed to be the sciences. I feel like an idiot now because I know how teaching works. So I understand that you're supposed to reverse engineer, pass on with what I refer to as Plato's point, and then it expands back out into construction. So you're supposed to deconstruct, pass over at Plato's point, and then reconstruct. And I'm going, well, I know this. So of course, naturally, our culture did this. So our culture did this whole start off with a story, reverse engineer it, get to the point of science, and then reverse engineer it, which is why we created the wheel. And then we went into physics and science, and we're about right here. After that, we're supposed to learn communication because we are reconstructing, and then art. And when I followed that line, I went, well, son of a fucking bitch. Ireland actually did it. While the rest of us suffered under the Dark Ages and had to reset, they were able to go on ahead. So I looked at what Ireland did, and I realized that they are in the last stages of societal construct, and therefore they revere art and they put it on a pedestal. So then I started to look into what exactly Ireland is doing with art that the rest of the world can't figure out yet. Artists in the rest of the world are trying to peddle their art like it's a commodity. They're trying to make money for it. They're trying to sell it, but there's no value. And I am just scratching the surface of this. So I have not obtained any conclusive information. I'm just noticing and observing. And one of the things that I noticed in the Irish culture is it is invaluable. It is priceless. They're not trying to market it, sell it, exchange it. What they've done, if I'm really to sit back and observe what they're doing, what they've done, what they're doing, because they're actively doing this, is if I didn't know better, if I didn't have the 4th ethical perspective gap, art is a conduit. That's what it is. Art is a conduit. It's the energy that is used to make a connection. You know, she said something when I was talking to her. I said, what's going on with art? And she said, oh, music is how we connect. Yes, ma'am. She said, art is how we connect. You know, I never thought about that because here we are, you know, and I do it with my partner. I do it with my partner. I'm a musician. He's a dancer. We're both singers. We watch TV together. We connect when there's art. We connect in music. That's what drew us together. Like I said, the Irish are onto something. It's not. It's not a commodity. It's not a resource. I believe we are misusing art. It's not a commodity and it's not a resource. It is a living, breathing thing. It's a person with its own energy. I really believe she had it right on the head when she said art is how we connect. And it flows and it moves through the entire Irish culture. And you know what they don't have a problem doing? Connecting? Oh, no, they got it down. One of my favorite moments in all of movie history is Titanic. In the third class bowels of the ship with the Irish dancing. They're impoverished. They are living down at the bottom. And they are having a fucking blast. And they're all dancing. And they're all playing music. Now, of course, we're going to ask the question, how does an artist make a living then? But Ireland has that figured out. They live for free. Oh, comes Razor. Patrons. But you have to value it. All right, I'm just going to do it. If I'm cleansing my energy and I'm just tapping into what my instinct and my energy is screaming at me, art is the last and final stage of civilization. Art is the final stage. It is survive, and then it is work together as a team, and then it is connect, and then it is celebrate. The artist is the one who connects and celebrates. Artists are ahead of their time. Artists are not supposed to be making art for a living. They're supposed to be dependents because they are loved, respected, revered so greatly because the artist is what connects. Without the artist, we're surviving, people. Without the artist, we're not working together. You do not get to unisolate until you have the artist, which puts their value priceless. Because without the artist, you have war, you have survival, starvation. Without the artist, you are isolated. You bring in the artist, and the war ends. The isolation ends. The surviving ends. How much are you willing to pay to end a war? Because that's really what the artist does. It ends the war. Now you're working together. Oh, good fucking God. Whistle while you work. How many of us do chores while listening to music? Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? My daughter's like, and we're literally treating artists like they're garbage. Like, sorry, I'm too busy fighting a war. You just starve in the corner. I gotta go fight this war. And the artist is sitting there with their little things and their fiddles and their paintings, and they're going, all right, when you're done with your war, let me know. I'll be here to connect you and the war will end any day now. Have you had enough? Artists are just sitting back here going, any day now. Are you guys done? Are you ready to connect and end the war? Nope. All right. All right. We're going to go over here and we're going to play. So the artists have figured this out. The artists sit around and they've got their community. They get it. They've connected. And the rest of the world is fighting a war, spitting on the artists. Boy, are we dumb fucks. And that's it, really. And the Irish have figured it out. And I was asking her, I said, Irish is a poor country. She goes, yeah, it is. And I said, are you okay with being poor? And she said, we've learned to be happy with what we have. You know, if money comes along, great, but we're happy with what we have. Now we run the risk of never aspiring to become more than what we are, but we're happy with what we've got. And we've learned to be appreciative. You know what they've learned is called gratitude. The Irish have learned gratitude. They're so happy to have family, kin, and art. They don't need anything else. They're poor because they don't give a fuck because they figured out the real wealth. They're not the poorest country. They're the wealthiest. Oh, how stupid we all have been. Irish isn't poor at all. They're the wealthiest. They've got family, food, Guinness, drink, music, connection. They've got all the shit that we're looking for. And then we're going, they're poor. Are they? Are they? This is the dirty little secret of the Irish. They're not fucking poor. They're the wealthiest of all of us, and we're too fucking stupid with our wars to even notice. And the difference, what they're doing with their art, it's not something to be bought or sold. It's a conduit. And it is so priceless that they put it on a pedestal and they revere it. She was saying something to me about the artists over there. Everyone takes care of the artists. Everyone takes care of the artists. You know, the government in Ireland will not tax the artists. An artist in Ireland will live tax-free because they take care of their artists, because they understand the value of the artist. The artist is the conduit. The artist is the heart of culture and society. And without them, we isolate, and we're in apocalypse now. Monumental men. Is it monument men or monumental? I gotta look it up. I'm thinking it's monument men. The monuments men. I sobbed when they burned the Rembrandts. The monuments men. Those are the kind of people who destroy art. They burned books. A people, a person who destroys art and culture is really destroying the conduit. A book burner is destroying a conduit. It is the epitome of narcissism. A narcissist culture has no tolerance or place for an artist. Thank you, and may the kindest of words always find you.